My beloved child, stop for a moment and listen to me carefully, because what I am about to reveal will shake something deep inside your spirit. You thought today was ordinary. You thought the delay was random. You thought the strange feeling in your chest meant nothing. But I need you to understand that heaven moved quickly around your life today. Something was approaching you that you never fully saw with your natural eyes, and before danger reached your path, I stepped in front of it myself. I closed a door before destruction could enter. I redirected something before it touched your life. You may never fully understand how close certain things came to you, but I saw everything clearly before it unfolded, and because I love you, I moved first. Do not scroll away from this message, because this is not coincidence. I brought you here intentionally. I interrupted your day because your spirit needs to hear what heaven already knows. You have been protected more times than you realize. There were moments when you thought life was simply frustrating, inconvenient, delayed, or confusing, but behind those moments I was shielding you from things your mind could not yet comprehend. What upset you may have preserved you. What disappointed you may have saved your future. And now I am revealing this because your heart has carried too much fear lately, too much anxiety about tomorrow, too much silent worry about what could go wrong. I refuse to let fear control the life I carefully protect with my own hands. My child, I am not distant from your life. I am not a silent observer watching your pain from far away. I do not abandon my children when danger moves near them. I act. I intervene. I protect. I shut doors that would have harmed you. I delay things that would have broken you. I remove people who carry destruction into your future. I reroute paths before disaster unfolds. And many times you do not even recognize my protection until much later, because what looked like inconvenience in the moment was actually mercy surrounding your life from every direction. You have asked me before, Lord, where are you while I struggle? And now I need you to understand something deeply. I have been closer than you realize. There are battles you never saw because I stopped them before they reached you. There are attacks you never noticed because I blocked them quietly. There are moments when the enemy planned confusion, tragedy, fear, or devastation, but I've already stood in the way before those plans could fully form. Heaven has guarded your life in ways your human understanding cannot fully measure. And today, something happened again. Something moved in the unseen realm around you. And before it could fully unfold, I reached out my hand and stopped it. My beloved child, you have been carrying a strange heaviness recently, haven't you? Part of your spirit sensed something unusual even though your mind could not fully explain it. Certain moments lately have felt emotionally intense without clear reason. You felt restless, overwhelmed, mentally exhausted, sometimes fearful without understanding why. But your spirit was responding to pressure moving around your life that your natural eyes could not clearly recognize. The enemy wanted fear to enter your heart deeply. He wanted anxiety to grow stronger inside your thoughts. He wanted you distracted, discouraged, emotionally drained, and spiritually exhausted. But I would not allow destruction to reach the depth he intended, because your life still belongs to my purpose. You must hear me carefully now, because this part matters deeply. Your survival is not luck. The fact that you are still here is not coincidence. There were moments throughout your life when things could have gone very differently, but I preserved you intentionally. Some dangers were physical, some emotional, some spiritual. Some involved people whose intentions were darker than you understood at the time. Some involved situations that appeared harmless externally but carried hidden destruction beneath the surface. Yet every time death, devastation, or despair moved too close toward your life, I stood between you and what tried to destroy you. Sometimes I protected you openly. Other times I protected you so quietly that you never realized what almost happened afterward. My child, there are things you cried about that you later discovered were actually protection. There were relationships you begged me to save, but I removed them because they carried pain into your future. There were opportunities you desperately wanted, but I blocked them because I saw what would eventually happen behind those doors. There were delays that frustrated you deeply, but those same delays prevented you from walking directly into harm. You only saw disappointment in the moment, but heaven saw danger approaching from a distance. And because I love you, I chose temporary confusion over permanent destruction. I know you sometimes struggle to trust me fully when life feels uncertain. I know there are moments when unanswered questions frustrate your heart. You want clarity immediately. You want explanations quickly. You want visible evidence that your life remains secure. But much of my protection happens silently. I guard you in ways your mind does not always notice immediately, because if I revealed every hidden battle surrounding your life, you would realize just how often heaven intervenes on your behalf. Angels have moved around you more times than you know. My hand has redirected circumstances more times than you realize. My voice has warned your spirit quietly before certain situations unfolded. And even now, while you listen to these words, my protection still surrounds your life from directions you cannot currently see. Type Amen. My breakthrough is near if you feel a shift coming. My beloved child, there is a reason I am speaking with such urgency right now. Fear has attempted to grow inside your thoughts recently. Anxiety has whispered terrible possibilities into your mind. You have worried about the future, about safety, about unexpected tragedy, about things falling apart suddenly. Some nights your mind became exhausted from overthinking situations that had not even happened yet. But I am interrupting those fearful thoughts today because you must stop living as though your life is unguarded. You belong to me. Your future belongs to me. Your purpose belongs to me. And I did not preserve your life repeatedly just to abandon you now. Listen carefully now, because this truth will change how you view your life forever. There are moments when my protection appears as closed doors. There are moments when my protection appears as delays. There are moments when my protection appears as disappointment. There are moments when my protection appears as unanswered prayers. But just because you do not understand my decisions immediately does not mean I am withholding goodness from you. Sometimes I remove things because I already see the hidden danger attached to them later. Sometimes I stop certain paths because your destiny cannot survive what waits there. And because your purpose still matters deeply to heaven, I intervene before destruction fully reaches your life. My child, I know you have questioned why certain things happened the way they did. I know there are moments you still replay inside your mind, wondering what could have been different. But one day you will fully understand how many painful endings actually protected you from greater devastation later. One day you will see how many delays preserved your peace. One day you will realize how many interruptions redirected your destiny toward safer ground. And when that understanding finally reaches your spirit completely, gratitude will replace much of the confusion you currently carry. Right now, I need you to breathe deeply and receive this truth with your whole heart. You are protected more than you know. Heaven watches your steps carefully. I see every road ahead before you arrive there. I know every hidden danger before it moves near you. I know every person whose intentions are false. I know every trap prepared secretly against your peace. And because I know all things before they unfold, I move before destruction arrives. That is what I did today. Before fear reached you fully, I interrupted it. Before harm touched your life deeply, I blocked it. Before the enemy carried out his plan completely, I shut the door. You are still here because I decided you would remain here. You are protected because I declared protection over your life. You survived because heaven refused to let darkness claim your future. And this message is your reminder that I am not a God who watches silently while danger approaches, my child. I move first. I intervene first. I protect first. And today, before you even realized you were threatened, my hand already stood between you and what tried to reach your life. My beloved child, stop what you are doing for a moment and listen to me with your full attention, because this interruption is not random. I did not allow you to arrive here accidentally. I pulled you into this moment because there is something your spirit needs to hear before fear, distraction, or confusion speaks louder inside your mind again. You have been moving through your days carrying more pressure than people realize. Outwardly, you tried to continue functioning normally, but inwardly your thoughts have been exhausted, your emotions overwhelmed, and your spirit restless in ways you could barely explain. There were moments recently when something inside you felt unsettled without clear reason. You sensed heaviness. You sensed pressure. You sensed strange emotional intensity rising around your life, yet you could not fully understand why. But I understood. Heaven understood. And before what was moving toward you could fully unfold, I stepped directly into the middle of it myself. My child, I need you to understand how close my presence has been around you lately. You thought certain moments today were ordinary interruptions. You thought certain delays were frustrating inconveniences. You thought some closed doors were simply bad timing. But behind those moments, I was actively protecting you. What looked small externally carried greater spiritual importance than you currently realize. There are battles happening around your life that natural eyes cannot always see immediately. There are moments when danger moves quietly. There are attacks formed in hidden places. There are situations that appear harmless outwardly while carrying destruction beneath the surface. But before those things fully reached you, I already moved ahead of them because I refuse to stand still while harm approaches one of my children. Please support our channel. Our work is to bring happiness in your life and devotion to God. And if you want, you can donate to us, given link in description or pinned comment to show your support. My beloved child, there have been times throughout your life when you wondered where I was during difficult seasons. You questioned whether I truly saw your struggles or understood your fears. But today I am interrupting those thoughts, because you must recognize that my protection has surrounded you far more than you realize. The fact that you are still here is not coincidence. The fact that certain situations never unfolded the way they could have is not luck. I have quietly preserved your life repeatedly while you remained unaware of how much danger was actually surrounding you. Sometimes I protected you physically, sometimes emotionally, sometimes spiritually. Sometimes I blocked relationships that would have shattered your peace. Other times I redirected your steps before destruction could reach your future. And many of those interventions happened silently because my hand often works in hidden ways before human understanding catches up later. There is a reason your spirit has felt emotionally heavy lately, my child. Part of your soul sensed pressure moving around your life even though your mind could not fully explain it. You became mentally tired more quickly. Certain fears surfaced unexpectedly. Anxiety whispered louder than usual. Some nights your thoughts became restless without obvious explanation. But what you were sensing was not your imagination. Your spirit was responding to unseen tension surrounding your life. The enemy wanted fear to grow stronger inside you. He wanted confusion to overwhelm your thinking. He wanted emotional exhaustion to weaken your faith slowly over time. But before those attacks could fully settle upon your spirit, I intervened. I interrupted the path of destruction before it reached its intended destination. My beloved child, do not dismiss this message lightly because heaven moved with urgency around your life today. You only saw the visible moments. I saw the hidden outcomes that could have unfolded differently without divine intervention. There are times when even small changes completely alter the direction of future events. A delayed departure, a canceled plan, a missed conversation, a closed opportunity, a strange feeling telling you not to go somewhere. You often view those moments through frustration because you only see the surface. But I see the full picture before events unfold. I know every road before you travel it. I know every hidden intention before people reveal it. I know every danger before it approaches your life. And because I know all things completely, I move before destruction reaches you. My child, I know fear has tried to grow inside your heart recently. You have worried about the future more than you admit openly. There are hidden concerns inside your thoughts that you rarely speak aloud. Fear of sudden tragedy. Fear of losing stability. Fear of things falling apart unexpectedly. Fear of disaster arriving without warning. Some of those fears became stronger because your spirit sensed unseen pressure around you. But now I need you to hear me clearly. Fear will not control your life. Anxiety will not become your master. I did not preserve your life repeatedly just to leave you defenseless now. You are not abandoned to chaos. You are not forgotten in dangerous moments. My hand remains actively involved in your life every single day, even when you cannot visibly see what I am doing behind the scenes. My beloved child, there are things I shielded you from that you may never fully know while living on this earth. Some attacks were stopped before they ever formed completely. Some plans against you collapsed before you recognized they existed. Some people were quietly removed from your path because their presence carried hidden destruction. Some opportunities disappeared because they were connected to future pain you could not yet foresee. And although you mourned certain losses or questioned certain disappointments, heaven was often protecting your peace, your purpose, and even your life itself through those painful redirections. You must stop interpreting every closed door as rejection. Sometimes what disappoints you initially becomes the very thing that preserves you later. There are prayers you cried over that would have led you into devastation if I had answered them exactly the way you requested. There were relationships you desperately wanted to keep that would have deeply wounded your future. There were paths you wanted to walk that contained danger hidden far beyond what your eyes could recognize. But because I love you deeply, I refuse to allow temporary desires to destroy your long-term purpose. I chose protection over your immediate understanding. I chose preservation over temporary comfort. And one day you will fully realize how many painful moments actually carried hidden mercy inside them. My child, I am speaking with such urgency because your perspective must begin changing now. You cannot continue living as though your life is unsupported, unguarded, or abandoned. Heaven watches over you more carefully than you understand. Angels move around your life more often than you realize. My spirit warns, redirects, protects, and intervenes constantly even during ordinary moments you barely notice. You are deeply covered by my presence, and while the enemy wants you to remain consumed by fear about what might happen tomorrow, I am calling you into deeper trust regarding the one who already stands inside your tomorrow before you even arrive there. Listen carefully now, because this truth matters deeply. I did not create you only to survive fearfully through life. I created you to walk with confidence, knowing your steps remain under my authority. That does not mean difficulty will never exist. It does not mean challenges disappear completely. But it does mean you are never facing those moments alone. Before danger approaches, I already know. Before attacks form fully, I already see them. Before destruction reaches your path, my hand is already moving. That is why you must stop assuming every uncertainty means abandonment. Sometimes uncertainty simply means you cannot yet see the protection operating around your life behind the scenes. My beloved child, something significant happened spiritually around your life today, and I needed you to hear this before fear distorted your understanding of it. You were not ignored. You were protected. You were not abandoned. You were covered. You were not left vulnerable. Heaven intervened before danger fully reached you. And even though your natural eyes may never fully comprehend everything I stopped, your spirit needed reassurance that my hand remains powerfully active around your life right now. So breathe deeply now and let peace settle inside your heart again. Stop replaying fearful possibilities inside your thoughts. Stop imagining disaster around every corner. Stop carrying anxiety as though you must protect yourself alone. I am already watching over you. I am already standing guard around your future. I am already moving ahead of dangers you cannot currently see. And today, before destruction reached your life, I shut the door on it completely, because your story is not ending in fear. Your purpose still lives. Your future still matters. And I am still the God who moves first when my child is threatened. My beloved child, there are moments in your life when you stand much closer to danger than you ever realize. And today was one of those moments. You woke up thinking this day would unfold normally. You moved through ordinary routines without understanding how much movement was happening around you in the unseen realm. Your eyes only saw the surface of events, but heaven saw the deeper reality hidden underneath. There were things aligning behind the scenes that could have brought pain, confusion, loss, or devastation into your life if I had not intervened first. And now I need you to understand something deeply. I did not hesitate to protect you. Before harm could fully approach you, my hand already stood between you and what intended to break your peace. Say amen. Healing flows to me if you're claiming your restoration. My child, you often underestimate how carefully your life is watched over by heaven. You see only visible moments, while I see every hidden outcome attached to every decision, every delay, every encounter, every direction, and every closed door. There are dangers you recognize easily, but there are also hidden dangers that appear harmless at first. Not every threat announces itself openly. Some dangers arrive disguised as opportunities. Some appear through relationships. Some enter through exhaustion, fear, distraction, or emotional weakness. Some approach quietly through timing and circumstance. But nothing approaches your life without first passing before my sight. I see every hidden trap before you step near it, and because I know the future fully, I act before destruction reaches you completely. My beloved child, today you were protected from something you may never fully understand while living on this earth. Perhaps it was physical danger. perhaps emotional devastation, perhaps spiritual destruction, perhaps a situation that would have altered your future painfully if events unfolded differently. You may never know exactly what heaven prevented, but your spirit sensed the tension around you even if your mind could not explain it clearly. That strange uneasiness you carried recently was not meaningless. Your soul recognized pressure moving nearby before your thoughts understood why. Sometimes your spirit perceives spiritual conflict long before your natural understanding catches up later. And during those moments, my protection surrounds you even more closely than usual. You must understand this now, my child. The enemy studies your weaknesses carefully. He searches for moments when exhaustion lowers your spiritual awareness. He looks for opportunities to plant fear inside your thoughts. He watches for emotional vulnerability, distraction, discouragement, and confusion because he hopes those conditions will make you easier to harm spiritually and emotionally. But what the enemy repeatedly forgets is this: your life does not belong to darkness. Your future remains under my authority. Your destiny cannot be stolen without my awareness. Before attacks fully form, I already know. Before danger arrives at your door, I am already standing there waiting for it. There are moments throughout your life that seem small at the time but carried enormous importance spiritually. Times when you left later than expected. Times when plans suddenly changed. Times when your spirit felt uncomfortable around certain people for reasons you could not explain logically. Times when opportunities disappeared unexpectedly. Times when confusion interrupted situations that once seemed perfect. You viewed many of those moments through disappointment or frustration because your understanding remained limited to what was visible immediately. But now I need you to start seeing differently. Many interruptions protected you. Many delays preserved you. Many disappointments redirected you away from pain you could not yet foresee. My child, I know you sometimes question why life feels unpredictable. You want certainty. You want clear answers. You want reassurance that everything around you remains stable and secure. But part of walking with me requires trusting that I see what you cannot see yet. You only understand present moments while I already see future consequences connected to every path before you. That is why there are times I say no when you desperately want yes. There are times I delay things that seem urgent to you. There are times I remove people you hoped would stay forever. There are times I close doors suddenly even while you stand confused outside them. But none of those moments happen carelessly. My protection often operates through redirection long before danger becomes visible externally. My beloved child, there are people who would not have survived the things I quietly prevented from reaching them. But I preserved you because your purpose still matters deeply. I know the plans I still carry for your future. I know the healing still coming. I know the lives you will touch later. I know the testimony your survival will eventually become. And because your story is unfinished, I refuse to allow destruction to reach you before your appointed time arrives. The enemy wanted interruption. I chose preservation. The enemy desired fear. I released protection. The enemy hoped for collapse. I strengthened the walls surrounding your life. Before the attack fully arrived, you have spent too much time recently imagining worst-case outcomes inside your mind, my child. Anxiety has exhausted your thoughts repeatedly. Fear has whispered dangerous possibilities into your spirit until even ordinary moments sometimes feel heavy emotionally. But listen carefully now. Not every fearful thought comes from truth. The enemy wants you living as though disaster constantly surrounds you because fear weakens peace and clouds spiritual clarity. Yet while fear screamed loudly inside your mind, my protection continued surrounding you quietly the entire time. You worried about dangers you could imagine while I blocked dangers you never even knew existed. My beloved child, there is a reason I am emphasizing this so strongly today. You need to stop measuring my faithfulness only by visible blessings. Sometimes my greatest acts of love are the disasters I never allowed to happen. Sometimes my deepest protection appears through what never unfolded. You celebrate open doors quickly, but you often mourn closed doors without realizing those closures protected your future. You cry over delays while heaven quietly rejoices because destruction was prevented through those same delays. Your perspective must deepen now because understanding my protection requires trusting me beyond what your natural eyes can immediately explain. I know there are moments when you feel emotionally fragile because life has already carried enough unexpected pain. Certain experiences wounded your sense of safety deeply. Certain losses made you fear sudden tragedy more intensely. Certain disappointments taught you how quickly life can change. And because of those past experiences, your mind sometimes prepares constantly for future pain before anything has even happened. But I am calling you out of that fearful mindset now. You cannot fully experience peace while expecting disaster around every corner. You cannot hear my voice clearly while anxiety constantly fills your thoughts with panic about tomorrow. My child, look back carefully over your life for a moment. Think about the times things could have gone differently but somehow did not. Think about the situations that almost happened but changed suddenly at the last moment. Think about the moments when your spirit warned you quietly even before your mind understood why. Think about the people removed from your life before deeper damage occurred. Think about the paths you desperately wanted that later revealed hidden destruction attached to them. None of those moments were meaningless. My hand was involved far more than you realized at the time. And today was another one of those moments. You were closer to danger than you understand, but I moved before it fully reached you. I saw what was forming before you recognized it. I blocked what intended to harm you. I redirected what could have wounded your future deeply. I shut the door before destruction crossed the threshold. Because I am not passive about the lives of my children. I do not stand far away watching harm unfold without action. I intervene. I protect. I preserve. I move first. And while your mind may never fully understand everything I prevented today, your spirit needed to hear this truth clearly now. You are still here because heaven actively fought for you before danger ever reached your life completely. My beloved child, there are many moments in your life when I move long before you realize anything is wrong. You often wait for visible signs before understanding that something serious is happening, but I do not wait for destruction to fully appear before taking action. I see danger while it is still forming in hidden places. I see attacks while they are still only whispers in the unseen realm. I recognize harmful intentions before people reveal them openly. I know every future consequence attached to every road before you ever begin walking down it. That is why my protection often reaches you before your awareness does. I move first because I love you too deeply to stand still while harm approaches your life. My child, you tend to judge situations based only on what you immediately feel or understand emotionally. When plans suddenly change, you become frustrated. When delays interrupt your schedule, you feel disappointed. When opportunities disappear unexpectedly, you question whether something good was stolen from you. But there are moments when, Those interruptions are actually evidence that heaven stepped directly into your path to preserve you from something your eyes could not yet see clearly. Today was one of those moments. Something shifted around your life, and before confusion, fear, or danger could fully unfold, I intervened ahead of time. You did not fully understand why certain things felt strange recently. You could not explain why your spirit felt restless or emotionally heavy without clear reason. Some moments carried unusual tension. Certain situations suddenly changed directly unexpectedly. Certain conversations did not unfold the way you anticipated. Certain plans were delayed, interrupted, or rearranged. And although your human understanding searched for immediate explanations, the deeper reality was this: I was already moving ahead of danger before it fully reached your life. What looked confusing externally carried hidden protection underneath the surface. My beloved child, I know you sometimes struggle with trusting what you cannot see. You prefer certainty. You want immediate explanations. You want visible confirmation that everything around you remains safe and secure. But my ways often operate beyond what human understanding can immediately comprehend. There are times when I will close a door before you even realize what danger waited behind it. There are moments when I will delay you because timing itself carries protection. There are situations where I remove people from your life before their hidden intentions fully surface. And because you cannot always see what I see, you sometimes mistake my protection for disappointment. Think carefully about your life for a moment, my child. How many times have you looked back later and realized that what once upset you actually preserved you? There were relationships you cried over losing that would have destroyed your peace if they had continued longer. There were opportunities you desperately wanted that later revealed hidden darkness attached to them. There were delays that frustrated you in the moment but ultimately redirected you away from pain. At the time, you only saw inconvenience. But later, wisdom revealed protection. This is how my hand often works around your life. I move before you fully understand why movement was necessary. My beloved child, the enemy wanted you to believe that my silence meant absence. But what you interpreted as silence was often hidden intervention already taking place around you. There are battles I fight for you quietly. There are dangers I stop without announcing them publicly. There are spiritual attacks broken before they ever fully manifest physically. And because those battles remain invisible to natural eyes, you sometimes underestimate how actively involved heaven truly is in your daily life. But I need you to understand now that your protection is not passive. Your life is carefully guarded every single day, even when nothing dramatic appears externally. Today, while you moved through ordinary moments, heaven was already responding to unseen tension around your future. Before fear could settle deeply into your spirit, I move. Before destruction crossed certain boundaries, I intervene. Before confusion fully clouded your thoughts, my hand redirected events quietly behind the scenes. And although your natural mind may never fully understand exactly what was prevented, your spirit needed reassurance that you are not navigating life unprotected. My child, there are moments when my protection appears as exhaustion preventing you from going somewhere. There are moments when my protection appears as canceled plans. Sometimes it appears through distractions, delays, changed schedules, missed opportunities, or sudden feelings telling you not to continue down a certain path. Human understanding often becomes frustrated by these interruptions because you cannot yet see the hidden future consequences attached to them. But I see every outcome before events unfold completely. I know where certain roads eventually lead. I know which environments carry hidden destruction. I know which people carry danger behind false appearances. And because I know all things fully, I intervene before damage reaches the depth the enemy intended. My beloved child, I also know that part of you still wrestles with fear because previous pain taught you how fragile life can feel sometimes. Certain experiences wounded your sense of safety deeply. Certain losses made you afraid of unexpected tragedy. Certain seasons of confusion made you question whether life could suddenly collapse without warning. And because of those experiences, your mind often tries to prepare for disaster before anything even happens. But now I am speaking peace directly into that fearful place inside you. You cannot fully walk in trust while constantly expecting destruction around every corner. Fear will keep your spirit exhausted if you allow it to rule your thoughts continuously. Comment Amen. You fight what I cannot if you're surrendering the struggle. And share this video.